Good day. I want to explain some type of integration, which is called integration by parts. And when we integrate by parts, I'm addressing this kind of integration or an integration technique, which is called integration by parts at NQF level 5. As an N5 problem or N6 problem. So when you integrate by parts, we actually do have a formula that we use to integrate by parts. And the formula states that if we're integrating um, a function that comes in the form of a product of two functions, f of x and say g prime of x, a product of these two functions, f of x and g prime of x, the solution to that integral would be given by f of x times g of x and minus the integral of f prime of x times g of x with respect to x, like that. So that's the formula that is used to integrate by parts. But however, here you can see that we are integrating a product of two things, f of x and g prime of x. It's a product of these two things, f of x and g prime of x. I'll give you probably an example, like if I say integrate x times, say, sine x dx, like that. So that's a product of x and sine x. So between x and sine x, we must know which one is going to be your f of x and which one is going to be your g prime of x. So for us to deal with that, we have then what we call the priority list. The priority list of choosing the function f of x. So this helps us to choose a function that is going to be f of x in our product of f and g prime there. So now in this priority list, remember that's so the first thing that I'm going to write will be first priority, and it goes on like that. So number one, I'm going to write it in this manner. Number one, we have the first priority being the inverse trigonometric function. And here we are talking of things like say arc sine x, like that. Then the second priority would be a logarithmic function. And here we are talking of things like, say, ln x or ln 2x, ln 4x, and so forth. And the third priority, that means if the first two are not there, you are going to choose the third one now, which is an algebraic expression. And by the algebraic expression here, we are talking of things like, say, x, or even it could be x squared, or it could even be x squared plus 1, and so forth and so forth. And then the fourth priority would be the trigonometric function, the trig function. And this trig function here now, we are talking of things like sine x, cos x, tan x, etc., and so forth. So like sec x, cosec x, so forth and so forth. Then lastly would be the exponential function. The exponential function. So with the exponential, we're talking of things like e to the power x, for example, e to the power minus 4x, etc., etc. So that is the priority list that we use to integrate a function by parts. Now, if we look at, for example, the function I gave you here, which is the integral of x sine x with respect to x. So the very first thing that we ought to do to integrate a function like that would be to choose what is going to be our f of x. In this case, if I look at my priority list, I have an algebraic and then a trig function. So the algebraic becomes my choice for f of x. So f of x would be equal to x. And it follows that g prime of x would then be equal to sine x. And now once I have identified what I can call f of x and what I can call g prime of x, the very next thing now is, if you look into my formula or our formula here, it does have g of x and also have f prime of x. So that means from these that I have chosen to be f of x and g prime of x, I must also now find what is f prime of x. In this case, f prime, that means I'm differentiating x and I get 1. And then when I look at g prime, to get g of x, because g prime is already a derivative state, so for me to reverse the derivative to the original function, I ought to integrate. So if I integrate sine x, I'll get minus cos x, like that. So right now I have all the things that I need to put in a formula. So now if I put into the formula, that means the integral of x sine x dx would be given by, according to the formula, f of x times g of x. So what is my f of x? It's x. What is my g of x? Minus cos x. So this is times minus cos x. Minus the integral of f prime. What is f prime? It's 1 times g of x, which is minus cos x. Like that. And with respect to x. So now what's left is just to simplify this and integrate this portion. So I can express this here neatly as minus x cos x. Negative and negative can give me a positive there, so that will be plus the integral of cos x dx, like that. So now if I integrate cos x, I get positive sine x. And of course, I do have the constant of integration c. So in other words, we are saying if we integrate x sine x with respect to x by parts, what I should get is minus x cos x, and of course plus sine x plus c. So that would be my solution of the integral of x sine x. So pretty much important is that you remember the priority list, because if you choose the priority list, the function you are going to call f of x in another order, you might have to have some challenges in integration, that you may find that you may have to apply the formula several times, and you may not be able to get a solution. So that's why it is very important to actually look at the priority list and use it as it is given there. So that's just a brief summary of how to use integration, how to integrate by parts. So in the next video, we can look at several examples where we can integrate by parts, and so that you can get more understanding. And right now, if you are watching this channel, kindly subscribe, like, and make comments so that we can give you, or we can respond to your comments by means of producing more videos. Thank you for watching.